Hello everyone, this is FallenDice, and welcome to episode 2 of Burpcraft Feed the Beast with FallenDice. And last one, we basically were just kind of doing a little walk and talk of where I am, or where I've been, and what our plans are. Now it's time to just kind of get back in and start to really move ahead. So, first thing I want to do is I want to get back to work on the dome, and not like the completion of the dome, but I want to start. Oop, wrong one. I want to start actually setting up my machines and things to start being able to do stuff. So what we're gonna do here is I need to get some grass blocks, and I think if I take a grass block, whoops, if I take a grass block, and I think I can. Let me make sure I get the right one. All right. Put this down over here. I think if I take a grass block and I use my saw, I should get a whole bunch of just grass tops. I think that was a problem I had back in the old days, is when you would do like the grass blocks, it wouldn't show up, or at least on some things. Wait, is that not tools? Where's my tools? There we go. So I'm curious right now, because if that works, then I am about to get rid of all of these stupid torches. Alright, there's 8 of those. So now if I were to... And the cool part is also that we are using the forge micro blocks, so I don't even have to use a separate... I can stick it here and still put the this on top of it. There we go. Oh, it's beautiful. Cool. Well, that means my first order of business is going to be to get rid of all these torches. Once the torches are gone, then I'm going to come through with all of my oak saplings, and we're going to plant some trees around here. I did talk about maybe putting in like a village or some type here, but if and when we do decide to do that, and that kind of thing is definitely going to be later on in down the road, we can just chop the trees down. For now, I just want to kind of fill this up and make this look a lot more plains-like. We also definitely are going to put some kind of bridge across here at some point, but again, that's for another episode, another day. So let me go through and let's get rid of all of these torches, and I'm definitely going to do that part off camera, and then I will be back in a moment. It is it is really amazing how much of a difference that makes, just getting the torches off the ground. I left those in there because I haven't finished that yet, and that's not the floor, it's whatever. That'll be moved as we go, so I don't want that. I don't need to be changing that with different materials. So yeah, now, and I finally brought a bed over here and stuff. Now we need to start decorating. One of the things I'm wanting to do is put in a little bit of gardening, so to say. You know, the villager type farms. And water, two, and border. There we go. One, I think it just kind of looks cool, and two, it's a good way of kind of, I guess you'd say, using the space, but getting something good out of it as well. So, going to put a few of these in, and they're just like generic sizes. I think somewhere I might have some, I'm hoping I have some of the potatoes, because I would definitely like to put potatoes in here. That is by far probably my favorite food other than cows, with the only issue right now is, of course, cows are going to require me to set something up for killing them and eating them and things like that, which I will do eventually. And I might, that whole area down below where I haven't filled it in, seems like that'd be a good place to put in livestock, I think, to be honest. So let's see, 3. I think this will look pretty good. I can put carrots, rice or rice/wheat. I can do either or. I think it's one thing I was finding out is it's a kind of a cool crop because it does makes bread the same as the wheat does, but it's a different looking crop. So it gives you some more variety to what we have on the farms here, which is kind of cool. I think I forgot to grab more of my torches. I got a lot of torches back at my base, or the old base. I'm in the process of converting this. This is becoming my base, so I guess stop calling that my base, because this is now going to be my base. I suppose I could put in another short one here. Not sure exactly how far it'll get. We'll experiment just to see. I can always throw it away later if I don't like it. Let's see, 1, 2 plus water, 1, 2 plus there. So I guess this one will itty bitty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I suppose I could just put water in the middle too. That works as well. So it's a small one. Let's see. Do I want to put like a really big one back here? Let's see. 1, 2, water, 1, 2. And actually it'll probably be more normal size just because we're going to hit the glass here at some point. It's not bad. It's a nice extra long one. And I'm also going to use the IC2 crops as opposed to the just regular soil, because in addition it gives you a lot more for what you're using. When you harvest it, you get a couple per instead of just the one. You don't get the seeds, but I prefer to get extra wheat as opposed to seeds anyway. Alright. I'm going to leave the back a little bit because I may do something along the lines of a lake back here, which is kind of funny since we're underwater. But I like to have like maybe a lake with like a little patio back here, since we're definitely not going to be able to do a patio up front because that's kind of the front of the house and this is going to be pillars and things and whatnot. But we put a lake back here. I could still do some kind of patio with kind of like a fishing pond, and I think it could be kind of cool. So we'll leave that alone for right now. This large area of space was taken up with farms. These here are eventually going to, I think, like I said, maybe be some type of village on both sides. I think I kind of like the idea of that. For now, I guess we need some tall grasses. Do it like here and there. Which is funny because I know at times I like to go and actually mow the lawns, so to say. But here I am kind of unpurposely planting it. Unpurposely. Let's see. And then of course as we put in the trees, it's also going to add a little bit to this. I'm not just going to fill up everywhere. It's kind of going to be haphazard here and there, so to say. And then we'll kind of go back and take a look at it and see how it looks. Let's kind of go up and get a feel for it right now. See, I like that. It's a little bit, it's got the random, so it looks like it's patches growing here and there. And then once we start adding trees in, I think it's going to give a really good look. I really liked how my desert turned out in the previous one, so I'm kind of looking forward to that one again. That it had a nice look how it turned out, throwing in the little temple and all. One of the ones I'm looking forward to is I do plan on one of my biomes is going to be swamp, which will end up putting like a witch's hut and everything in there. Some of these aren't really going to be used a lot. Like I said, they're more aesthetic. We'll build things underneath. The main base where we're going to do most of our work obviously is going to be here. The first one, which is where we're going to spend most of our time. And then as we evolve and do more, we may find things to put in there, especially things, like different types of power plants and different mods and things like that. Each one will be kind of unique to it. It'd be interesting to maybe if we do say a one that's some kind of barren, desolate kind of landscape, to pick that to be where we put like the nuclear plant, so it kind of almost looks like there was a meltdown and it actually ended up destroying all the vegetation and everything around it, kind of say. It'd be kind of cool. Alrighty, that doesn't look too bad. Now we've got to plant our trees, and actually I do. I wish I had more bone meal. Try and get the fully grown trees. I may have to make a trip back to the my old base. I have a few more bones laying around just to try and get these trees to grow, so I can see what they look like fully grown. Because can't really tell if I'm going to like this when they're just saplings, obviously. I'm not trying to put a lot, because it's one thing I noticed. If I were to make a forest, then yes, we'd have trees all over the place. But one thing you notice when you're out in the plains is there are trees, but there are really not a lot of them. It's not like there's trees everywhere kind of thing. So I don't think it's going to grow there, so I won't even bother. This one I think has enough space. Until I get all of everything put in, I'm not even going to consider bringing in villagers, because obviously every time I do something I run the risk of creating spawning areas, and with all of the quarries that we're doing here, it's going to make a very inviting when it does find a spot that it can spawn in. So obviously we're going to have issues with spawning, like what I just did right over there. If it's daylight and nothing can spawn there, and I would hate to have them basically destroy all the villagers, because that's one thing, is once we get them too, I also want to start some trading, and if I get some good ones, I'm not going to want them to be killed and destroyed. Wheatgrass. Cool. Alright, I'm going to go get me some more bone meal, and then I'm going to come and bone meal these. We'll take a look at this and see how we like this. And then actually I'll probably put some dirt in here, fill the water, plant my crops, get the trees up, see, like I said, see how it looks, and then we're going to come over here and do a little spacing. I'm not going to build this quite yet. That's going to be an episode all of its own, but I do want to know where my stairways going down are, so I can start digging below here and kind of getting this all set up. So I will be back in a few. Alright, we're back. First off, got some of our stuff growing over here. Got some berries, some pumpkin, some melons. Got the good old normal wheat, carrots, canola. Not even really sure what it's for, but it was kind of cool, and I might actually use this as a decorative kind of thing, because it's a pretty yellow flower, so for like, say, pathing or something, maybe up there. Kind of cool. Potatoes, got our barley and our rice. So decent crops now. And we got some of the trees to grow. Some of them were in places that wouldn't grow. I removed them, but I think we have, I think we have a good enough amount here. It's definitely not super thick like you'd find in a forest, but it's enough to kind of break things up until I decide to do our village-ish thing. And then some of the trees will be replaced by houses or whatnot. And I may not even do that. I may decide to make a whole another dome be the home for those guys. But again, I think it looks kind of cool. We'll put something up over there. But I've been working on this. Alright, so the way this is this is going to be like a fairly large porch out here that you come up on. Bunch of pillars going up, kind of like an old, plantation kind of looks and you come into the door here, and this whole thing here is the entrance to this house. um, right as you walk in, there's going to be a very large fireplace here, and then stairways that go up here and up there to the second level with a walkway going across the front here. Some kind of decorative things up in here and there with paintings, large windows, bushes and trees, just very opulent, and yeah, it's going to look kind of cool. This looks like this is going to be our entrance to the downstairs. And I'll explain why once we get finished with the rest of what our room is. The upstairs, we'll get to that later, and that's going to be all living spaces, houses, things like that. But this first area here is going to be the library slash office. And what I may end up doing, I'd like to cut this a little bit short, but I want to keep it a straight up room. Just to kind of give it a little bit more of this, because there's an awful lot of space here for our our stairway down. But anyway, so like I said, that's going to be like a small library and an office. This one here is going to be like a little bar slash game room seating area kind of thing, which will also open up here into our large living room. Sunken living room, lots of bookshelves and things, carpet. Over here is going to be like the entertainment area. So over here we'll have like a big screen TV, couches, seating area kind of thing, some game tables, few seating areas, things like that. And then over here, this will be our kitchen, and this will be the large fancy dining room area. So, and then of course this back here will open up into our patio area, which will have this nice large lake, fishing area, and I think by the time we're all done it's going to look pretty cool. But again, my whole purpose just for doing this is to find out exactly where my stairs going down are, because right now that's really about all I care about. So doorway will come into here, and then we're going to have stairs going down, and that first level below us is of course going to be a storage area, and then probably below that we'll do like some machines and whatnot. So I'm going to do some digging and kind of get the area where we're going to do our storage area, and then I will be back once we're ready to start kind of setting that up. Eventually though, we will be getting applied energistics and all that stuff going, but right now everyone that watches me or knows me knows I just like to be able to look at my storage. I love to see all the stuff kind of laid out, even if I have to make a whole bunch of extra stuff just to connect to barrels and things so that they can be accessed. I just like to be able to see stuff. Well, I have to say this is starting to come along. It's definitely going to be big. So, right now everything's cobbled because I'm just trying to space things out in here. So, this will actually takes us down to a second layer down here. I'm not sure what's going to go in here quite yet. I know I need to put a bit of machinery and stuff, so if my storage is up there, this may end up getting divided into machineries and whatnot. Problem is, I'll show you right here. We're at the bottom. I basically, to give myself 4 blocks here, I had to kind of fly around with my backpack and just place these cobblestone bricks down here, so I'm kind of limited by how far down I can go. However, I do have quite a bit of space over here that I can play with. So the rooms won't be nearly as high as maybe I'd like, but I have plenty of room below to run piping and things like that. So that's not going to be an issue. So I should be able to kind of fit everything in. And this will be where I process everything and such. So what I might do is maybe put some nice tall smelteries in here, a decent height. That should work. And then up here, this is going to be my storage room. And it looks bigger than it is because of the way I'm going to set this up. I want all of the barrels that I'm going to be using to all be attached to my Applied Energistics network. So I'm still going to be able to see everything in here, and I just kind of like how that looks and whatnot. But it will also be part of the system. So I'm going to need a bit of spacing around here to get all my piping and whatnot in, and the interfaces behind them. I have a couple rooms back here now. I'm thinking this is where a lot of my Applied Energistics stuff is going to end up going, and it will then connect into over here. These are the floors are too thick, so I will be able to kind of run piping underneath and through here without it being visible on either floor, thankfully using the micro blocks and stuff. So what I do want to do before this episode ends is I want to kind of lay out the storage area here. So I'm going to kind of do this off camera. Not going to fully implement the storage, but we're going to get the floor design and the spacing, because I'm going to have to make quite a few barrels and stuff like that, plus upgrades and things like that. So I'm going to be doing a lot of tree farming as well. What I may want to do, since I have all of this, oh, there's some thunder. I have plenty of space in here to plant trees, so it might not be a bad idea to just bring in a lot of my saplings in here and grow the trees in here. Man, that's so loud. I don't understand why that's got to be so much louder than everything else. It just... Huh, well, there you go. Thank you, Shu. There went the sound. So, like I was saying, I can bring the trees into here and kind of grow them in here, and that way I don't have to keep running back and forth. Plus, it's safe. Mostly. I'm surprised I don't have mobs coming at me yet. I haven't really shored up the sides over here, but we seem to be pretty good. But anyway, that's beside the point. What I need to do right here, though, is get this all set up for storage, plus spacing, and then we'll come back, take a look at it, and then we should be able to call this one an episode. Alright, so basically, I'm bringing along, I brought over some barrels to kind of place them to let us get that final look of how this is going to be. So I started putting in some better blocks. I haven't done the walls yet, but I've got the floor and the ceiling. But here's our storage area. And I think actually it looks really cool. I used two different types of the marble with the chisel, so it kind of gives two outlines, which I really think kind of makes it kind of pop. The blocks that are singles here, it's the same block as everything else, but they're the covers with the torch underneath for light. But I like the spacing how it is, so it kind of fits in well. So now basically this is my storage. So you can see I'm going to run out of barrels here rather quickly, but this is what we're going to end up with. And I'll be bringing over all the stuff from my storage, but this will allow me to, you know, single out all the different items that we're going to want, and it's going to come all the way through here, wrap around over here. So each one of these sections will be like a category, a group of a type of item. And then I've given myself enough space that I'm going to be able to come behind these and actually put in what is it, the interface, or let's see, the interface gets turned into There we go. Storage bus. So it's going to be expensive. You see, it takes a interface, a cable, and 3 iron ingots for every single one of these for it to actually be part of my system. And see, cables, fairly easy to make, but it's going to take 4 iron ingots, and then 5, 6, 7. So technically, every barrel that's connected to my network is going to take 7 iron ingots. Whew. Well, it's a good thing we're going to have quite a few quarries going. My next phase as we get through here is going to be to start quarrying the nether. I want to get some iridium, and you get more stuff out of the nether ores anyway. So it will be expensive, but you know, I may not actually connect everything. We'll see. There may be parts of it are connected, parts that are not. Because now that I'm thinking, 2 things I'm thinking. Number 1 is the cost, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to overcome the cost. The other part is all the cabling and stuff. I'm not sure lag and whatnot on the servers, how much that is going to impact this. So I might do, like, say, a single player test on this, and put some together like this, connect all the cablings, and just kind of get a feel for what it does to FPS and things like that. But even if I do not connect everything to the storage, I still will do this. So I still will have every single item I have is going to have its own, barrel. And some of them will definitely be connected, like obviously the ingots, diamonds, things like that. There's going to be stuff that will be for sure connected, so maybe I'll just kind of pick and choose what is and what isn't, and some stuff will just be down here for storage as well, just for looks and whatnot. So anyway, I have got some work to do, so I am going to do this between episodes. We're going to go ahead and end this episode right here. So when we start our next episode, we will have this fully completed, and we will actually have brought all the stuff from the old base over to here and have a lot of the stuff filled in. So anyway, actually made quite a bit of progress on this episode. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.